Hi YouTube, my name is Tessa and I'm definitely not qualified to be doing this speed build because it actually took me like 3 hours to do, but I showed up anyway. So this week, instead of doing one of the weekly Reddit Sims build challenges, because this week was to build a park, I instead found a picture of a house that I kind of liked online. Only the front though, and then built that front and continued building the rest without seeing the interior, which was kind of difficult considering I had no idea how it looked and I hate making big houses. So like this is my attempt at making a big house and I really like making small houses because I don't get tired of filling them. Okay, so this house in particular is built for a 6-person family, or you could actually have an 8-person family because these are pretty big rooms as well. It's got 5 bedrooms, 4 baths, a pool out back. Well, 5 bedrooms, 3.5 bath if you go by like what a traditional bathroom would be, which includes the shower or tub or whatever. And so it's got a half bath downstairs. It's kind of nice, I guess. But I am so sorry, guys. I definitely gave up on the interior because after a while I was just like, all right, it's another bedroom. All right, it's another bedroom. Oh no, I don't know how to fill a living room. And I ended up with this monstrosity. So if it interests you or if you like this house, then I will definitely put it on the gallery. If it doesn't interest you, then you don't have to download it off the gallery, but I'll put the link below for those who would want to play in it. Full disclosure, I also did include some custom content. It's the same kitchen set that I used before, and I think there might be some other furniture CC listed in there, so I will link those within the gallery upload. I've never actually done that before, but I will do it for you, YouTube. I believe in you if you believe in me. Which leads me to today's topic, which is believing in yourself. Except, no, that's not going to be today's topic because I don't think I could actually talk about believing in yourself for the next 27 minutes because that would be very stressful. In all honesty, though, my boyfriend suggested I talk about theater, and I guess that's something I can talk about, kind of. So, I've been doing theater since I was 8 years old. Yeah, 8. I was in The Sound of Music when I was 8 years old. And from then I did shows like The Jungle Book and Grease and Fiddler on the Roof. Well, those are a jump in time, actually. I think I jumped like 10 years between those shows. Something like that. But I've been doing theater all my life, and it's kind of the thing that's helped me most with public speaking because I'm actually very afraid of talking to people that I don't know. And even though I've been doing theater for all that time, I'm still kind of I still get stage fright. So right now I am in a band, which is not really on the theater topic, but also kind of on the theater topic because it's performing, right? So I am in a band and I am very afraid of when I can see the audience, which is an issue that doesn't come up as much in theater because with theater you have like the lights going and so you can kind of just like avoid looking at people because you're gonna be blinded by those lights in theory. You're not like actually blinded by them, but you just like really can't see the audience unless you're like at the tip of the stage. But when I perform with the band, I have to see who I'm performing in front of because I'm not really at the point where I can have like cool lights. Although I guess okay, so at our most recent performance, the lights kind of went out in a weird fashion, so that's kind of cool lights, but not the kind of cool lights that I'm talking about in this instance. But so I've been doing theater for a long time, and with that, I've been doing dance since I was like 5, and not, what's the word? Uh, classical voice lessons since I was 10, and I've gone through a lot of different voice teachers, and I don't have one right now because I just don't. I don't know, money, a lot of reasons. Don't really have anything I'm singing in at the moment, so it's not really something that I'm focusing on. But if you are a performer, you should probably have that as a consistent kind of a thing. If like performing is what you want to do for reals, like you probably know this if you are planning to be a performer. This is not advice at all. If you're planning to be a performer, you probably know that you should practice and have coaches and stuff with anything that you do. But so so yes, I do theater, but I also one of the things I really like about theater is I really like directing, and I have directed a couple of shows, and I am currently directing my second musical. Yeah, second musical, third like show. Well, I've assistant directed a couple of things, and I directed like one acts in high school, but this is my third kind of like show with actually adults in my cast, I guess is the terms I would use. And like theater gets a lot different when you get older, and I don't know, directing gets a lot different in that when I was directing one acts in high school, I think that was pretty easy, but it was also people who were exactly the same age as me or slightly younger, and there was still kind of like that, like a need to disobey authority figures, I guess. And then when I was doing like children's community theater, children don't like really pay attention. And then when I first started like assistant directing with like college aged people and adults, I had to learn weird stuff like how to quiet down adults in a way that was not rude. I don't even. I hope this is not like a bad topic for people. This is probably like not the most relatable thing ever. Like, I direct shows, but like, I don't know. It's something. So yeah, right now I am directing a show that is going to happen in December, and it's kind of like a funny story because so like the majority of my friends do theater. I'm not even gonna like try to deny it. I mostly hang out with theater people at this point in my life. But my boyfriend is also directing a show that is happening the same weekend as mine. And the show he's directing is a show that I originally wanted to direct, and the show I'm directing is a show that he wanted to direct. So this is just like kind of a fun, weird equation where we're able to like give cool feedback on stuff that we might not have thought of or things that we had thought of going into it. So that's cool. And I don't know how to explain. Like this is it's like a stressful process. It's like just a different way of looking at theater than if you're an actor, because when you're an actor, you focus more on just yourself, and like there's a lot of things to take in, but like you don't have, like you can focus on what everyone else is doing, and that I think that makes you a better actor if you like openly acknowledge what everyone else is doing in a scene, but it's like not a requirement. And then with directing, you have to like think of like 20 people doing different things all at the same time, and it's very stressful. And like as I said, I'm like stressed out when I have to like speak at people and can see their faces, which is why I was very bad at class presentations. And yeah, a lot of the time when you are directing, it is a lot of people just kind of staring at you and waiting for you to talk at them like a class presentation. But at the same time, you also have like your production team and just people who are all around rooting for you. So like in class, you might all be doing different projects, but at least your cast is supposedly on the same page as you, because you're all supposed to be working on the same thing and going towards the same goal together, you know? And not to say that everyone needs to direct, but if you haven't done theater, or but you would like to, like obviously don't do theater if you're like, this is something terrible that I would hate for all of these reasons. But if you're like, I want to give it a shot, even though it's terrifying, like definitely do it, because there's so many different aspects of theater that all lead to the same goal of, you know, creating a show. And I started out doing, backtrack. I started out doing theater as a little kid, as I had said before, but once I started actually like wanting to do theater, my start was doing tech crew. And so I was on run crew, costume crew. I stage managed stuff in high school. I learned to do light hangs, which was, I'm not great at lights. I will never be the first choice in lights. Like I've done it, but I don't think I would ever be the prime option for lights or sound. But much like with people who do sports, you know, it's a way where you work as a team. It's just like a different kind of rooted team. And being honest, like when I was applying for my first ever job and they were asking like the generic, what team situation have you been in? And can you explain what you think teamwork means? I talked about theater a lot of the time. So it's important to me. It doesn't have to be important to everybody, but if you like theater, it's pretty cool. But other than like the teamwork stuff that you can gain from theater, you also can gain confidence, like I did, LOL. I also just said LOL out loud. Let's ignore that. It's fine. Everything's fine. Also, we're going to see if these motorcycles are in the background, so that could be fun. That could be exciting. But other than the confidence and the teamwork, you also just meet a lot of people, honestly. And I know I've said that, but that's a cool part of theater. And then you build a community. You learn different ways of storytelling. And also right now in what was my school since I graduated, but my old college, They use theater as a teaching tool to help people get more comfortable for like interviews and talking to prospective employers, because it's a lot of like, it helps a lot with the people skill and like self presentation, especially when you're like, hi, I'm trying to get a job and here are 10 great things about me. Maybe you don't say 10. 10 seems like a lot. But like also you don't have to listen to me. I'm just one person who is not a career expert. And if the technical stuff and the career stuff and the team building aspects don't draw you into theater, there's so much more to it. I mean, there's the actual doing theater, but also as a community, theater people are just really weird. They're really great. I say this as a theater person, but theater people are really weird. For example, my theater group from college has a Facebook group dedicated to out of context weird sentences and phrases people say, which I guess that itself is not like the weirdest, but the fact that we have that now is included, or not we, they now have that included in an end of the year um like banquet ceremony for it, where the weirdest or funniest quote wins. Like that's if you're good at quoting weird things, you could win big from theater. I guess in this one tiny instance, if you happen to go to my old school. Okay, so I just pulled out my phone, and here's some examples of those overheard quotes. And keep in mind, these are meant to sound raunchy, I guess is the right word for it. But so they're either that or they're like sad, but they're like funny quotes, such as here, do you want me to be naked now or later? Or can I have the tenor's wine and die alone, please? And another good one is, you make a great toilet. So, like, really, they're just kind of like quotes out of context. Really weird quotes, really funny quotes, sometimes gross quotes also. But, like, that's a thing. That's a thing that they do there. But then, like, I don't know. Like, I made a lot of my best friends do theater, and they're all very weird people. But then that can lead to stuff like, one time, I was in this show. It was a review, so, like, not a musical, but a show that had a bunch of different songs that all fit a theme, generally speaking. And at some point, I wore a bear onesie that I own. I have two onesies. I wore my bear one. I also have a pug. Um, and that happened. It didn't get to happen on stage fully, which is a little upsetting, but we have picture proof of that now because theater people are weird. And that's the thing. Like, if you do theater, or if you have friends who do theater, you will have access to the weirdest pictures and videos of your friends. So I guess do theater because you'll get blackmail. No, please don't do theater for that reason. That's like not the right reason to do theater. Do theater because it makes you happy and you enjoy it. But like, blackmail might be an option of something you can get out of theater. And then conversely, if you like don't feel like doing theater, like if you're like, I'm not a performer and I also don't like power tools and I also don't like bossing people around, because those are the only three things you could do theater. That's a lie. That's a lie. There are so many more things. But if you like just actively are not like wanting to do theater, but you have friends who do theater, make sure to support them, because as someone who had to beg their friends to like see their shows in high school and even parts of college. Okay, the college thing was like a little like mixed bag on that, because half my friends were like in the show with me, but at the same time I had friends who just like wouldn't come to my shows, which was rude. And like, I get it, but also like rude. Support your friends, because if you're your friend, then you should like, you don't have to do the thing that makes them happy, but you should like support the thing that makes them happy. And oh my god, I'm only halfway through this video. Why did this take so long? So yeah, so this is a 3-hour build, and I had to speed it up so fast, so I'm really sorry if you're watching this and getting super dizzy, because I watched it and got super dizzy, but that's because I have inner ear problems. Yeah, that's a definite thing to brag about. I don't know. It's not a thing to brag about. But like, if you do get dizzy from this video, I'm so sorry, but also I wanted to show the full build, because like, I don't want to just be like, and you don't get to see me decorate it, because if you didn't want to see me decorate it and just like really just see the build, only watch halfway through this video. Less than halfway, actually. Halfway through this video, you get to start some of the interior design stuff, which also, okay, so I'm gonna be real and say I actively bought the what's it called, the new fitness pack, because weird to me that there's like a wellness like yoga pack and then a fitness rock climbing pack, but I bought it just to get that lamp, the one that's on screen right now, because that is a nice lamp. But anyway, I am currently directing a production of American Idiot, and my boyfriend is directing a production, producting a direction. He's directing a production of Heathers, which is probably way more wildly popular than American Idiot is, even though they have like very similar themes. Um, Also, a word to the wise, if you are underage, you should probably not watch those shows or like have parental permission because they're both they're more mature shows. Like I I definitely it's definitely a very common thing in college to do kind of the more mature type shows. So the shows that I did throughout college were it was a lot of like the like edgy, angsty kind of shows or I don't know, shows with minimal child characters. Although I played children weirdly frequently. I I don't know. My voice I don't know. I kind of want to see no one watches these videos and the people who do watch them are my friends, let's be honest. But if you aren't already my friend, comment below with how old I sound, which I know, okay, I've said like that I'm not in college anymore, so clearly I must be like a certain age at the very least. But I want to know. I want to know how old I sound out of context, I guess, much like those quotes. So send me your best guesses and I will confirm or deny them, I guess. Yeah, yeah, do that. Send me your guess on how old I am. Um, and also, like, just as like a blanket apology, I constantly get colds. So I definitely have a cold right now and I'm very stuffy. So that might be contributing to sounding younger or something. I don't know. But oh god, so I had colds. So I used to not get sick all that often. And then midway through high school, I started getting way sicker. So I had this terrible trend where I lost my voice every tech week, which if you don't do theater, tech week is like the week of the show where you start incorporating the more technical aspects, aka tech week, you know. That's why it's called tech week. So that's like the lights and sound and everything. Costumes too. But anyway, so that was like this terrible habit and I like was in 2 shows at the same time and I was like dying, which I mean that probably contributed to it. I was like in 2 shows and applying for college, so probably why I like was never healthy. But then that came back this year because I lost my voice before being the show in the spring and like how I said I'm directing American Idiot, I was in that as what's her name and I like couldn't sing, so that was terrible. So if you're a singer, please take care of yourself. Oh my god. Also a reminder that it is flu season, so if you are able to get a flu shot, they're super helpful. And that is my plug for health, I guess, right now in this short moment. But yeah, so like it's terrible when you are the person who's in the position of like being ill during a show or like things bad happening to you, but when you're not that person, it's kind of funny from afar. Okay, it's not funny if someone's sick during the show and can't sing, but like, okay, the guy who played Johnny when I was an American Idiot, great kid, but he blinked on the lyrics after a mic mishap, but he blinked on the lyrics to Boulevard of Broken Dreams, which like, it's Boulevard of Broken Dreams. Like, I know Green Day was probably not the most popular band to everybody, but like most of the people who auditioned with the show tend to be people who are fans of that music and like not like I don't understand how you blink on the lyrics to like an album but that's been out for that long, but like whatever. So he kept repeating the same line, which I will not repeat now because it involves cursing and I'm not going to do that right here right now, but kind of funny. Okay, funny from afar after watching the show after it was done. Being in the show, horrifying. So horrifying. But like at the same time, like he kind of kept going. Like there was when I was in high school, I was in a production of Fiddler on the Roof, and the guy who was Tevye was not. He was supposed to enter the stage before I did for this one scene, after like Huddle and Perchik danced for the first time, and he didn't enter, and like they were frozen on stage, and it was like high school community theater, like or children's community theater, you know, and no one knew what to do. So the kid who was Perchik was not good at ad-libbing stuff, but he just awkwardly went back over next to the girl playing Huddle and was just like, that was a very nice dance. And that was his entire like ad-lib to make up for the scene. And like I know people who are like profess themselves to be really good at ad-libbing. I definitely would be so terrible at it. So I have no room to judge in this moment, but I remember just standing off stage being like, why is that your ad lib saying it? That was a very nice dance? Like, it adds nothing, and it's like, you just gotta do something. Conversely, there was like this one girl who was really good at it when I was in a production of Grease. Um, the theater group I was in did like double casting because children, and then they could do more shows just so that they could split them up between the kids a little more. And the girl who was on cast for Rizzo forgot one of her lines, and the girl who was Rizzo in the opposite cast, for some reason they had all of us on stage together. They had like in like the sleepover scene, they had like 30 girls on stage because community theater, and the girl who is opposite cast Rizzo said the line for her, and like the response is from Frenchie or someone, and like the line is like thanks Rizzo or something like that. But instead they had to like they didn't use her name even though it would be a perfectly fine name, but they just like gave her a name on the spot, so they're like thanks Susan, which is not a Simsy reference. It was just like a random name reference. I don't know. Okay. Okay, but like honestly, my like probably the most memorable terrible theater mishap on stage was I was in a production of Bye Bye Birdie when I was little. I was a little kid, okay? Like so, whatever. Um so I and this other little girl, the ones who ran on stage, and we were like, he's coming, Conrad Birdie's coming, except like cuter because we were like 8. And the girl ran on before our cue, and I didn't know what to do, so I just ran on after her because I was like, well, I guess we're doing this scene now. And we did it. And the guy playing um what's his name? Something Peterson? No, I don't know. Like the lead non Conrad Birdie guy. He looked on me at me on stage and was like, "What did you do?" And so I like very obviously shrugged. Like he was a little more subtle about like kind of being like, "Why did you do that?" And I was very obvious about doing something wrong. And I went off stage, and I was like 8 or something. I was little, and the director comes up to me and she's like, "Why did you do that? How could you do that? Oh my God, you ruined the show!" And like I kept that with me for a very long time, and it was very horrifying, and probably like the wrong story to tell for someone who's trying to be like, "Yeah, theater is fun and welcoming." So like, in all things, there's probably not the kindest people, but like there are also very good people in theater if that's something you're interested in. Just to tie it back, like if you are genuinely wanting to do this, there are people who will support you, and there are much better people working with children nowadays, hopefully in children's theater, one would assume. So you are likely not to have that experience. And like, to be fair, like probably should not have done that. To be fair, she should not have reacted as such, but it happens. We're there. I'm past it. I still think about it a lot, but it's fine. Everything's fine. I'm fine. But yeah, so if you're interested in theater, like there's so many different opportunities to do it. So if you're like in high school, then obviously, not obviously, so a lot of high schools will have a theater program, but you could also find a community theater program around your hometown. If you're in college, a lot of colleges have their own theater department, or if your theater department only allows you to do shows if you're a theater major, then there's probably going to be other options, hopefully going to be other options where you could start your own, just like casually, because what's free? Shakespeare. Um, and then other than that, like, if you're like me and you had all that time, if you're like out of college or just like looking for something to do with your hobby, community theater is a great learning location where you can start like getting into stuff like directing and music directing and like stage managing, producing, all the different aspects, costume designing, and there's stuff online like you can check Stage Source, and just like literally Google and Facebook have this all over the place now, and it's a lot easier to get into. So if you're interested, like definitely give it a shot. But with that, I am going to start signing off. Thank you so much for checking out my build. I'm tessellating and I post speed builds every Thursday, and I will be updating my 100 baby challenge every Sunday. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see more of this. And if you have any topics you'd like me to talk about, or things that you would like me to build, or names for the babies, my 100 baby challenge, please, please, please comment below. I will see you all next time. Seriously, guys, if you have names for my 100 baby challenge, please, please, please comment below because I am thinking of nothing.